Hello and welcome to episode 8 of the Fanboy 4 show. I am your host, Justin. Joining me, as always, is Brandon.
Hello.
Steven.
Yo.
And Tony.
Well, hello there.
Why, hello. How are
Well,
you?
hello. Well, hello. Holy shit, hold on. Time out. Mark is watching right now on Facebook.
That can't be right. Call the police.
Mark Lasky joined. It's crazy. It's crazy stuff. What a world we live in.
What a wonderful world.
What a wonderful world.
I think he left though, so that sounds
Yes,
crazy.
he did.
You called him out, and he's just like, I'm out.
Right? Heard my name, I'm gone. Also, hello, Joshua. I think you were watching. And Aaron's dad, Dave joined. He said I had to talk about the Capitals, so we can talk about that in a little bit.
All right. So, anywho, we are the Fanboy 4, and we do a podcast every Wednesday. You can follow us on Twitter at Fanboy4Pod. That is probably the number one place to follow us, or Facebook for that matter. Just look up that Fanboy 4, and you will find us there. We may or may not be featured in a documentary about comic book shops, so keep your eyes out for that. But basically, for those that don't know us personally, I was actually in Maryland over the weekend for Free Comic Book Day, and obviously just to visit you three, and Josh for that matter, and Aaron for that matter. And now I'm not there anymore, so we'll talk about that in a little bit too.
Womp, womp, womp.
Yeah, womp, womp. That was the quickest weekend of my life. But anyways, let's just get right into the news. The news. Wait, what happened? Oh, I thought I could erase all the news. I did not. We were good. Anyways, so first off, this was actually from a couple weeks ago, but I left it on here because it's still kind of relevant. Fortnite Mobile came out about, officially launched, probably a month and a half ago. But in its first month, it made $25 million. That's... for one, whoa. But, what do you think it is, not just about Fortnite Mobile, but Fortnite in general, that just makes it so popular? Because there's been games similar to it, but, I mean, it's definitely, the most popular game, since Call of Duty. Why do you think that is?
It's very easy to play, and it's very easy to pick up, and it's free. So yeah. I think those are two of the biggest reasons that it's easy to play. It's easy to play. It's easy to understand what to do with the game. You may not be good at it, but it's just easy to do, and it's free. So you can't beat the combination.
Question though, with the mobile, is that just mobile, or is that the game in general? Because isn't it kind of a lot of mobile accounts linked to people's gamer tags and stuff like that?
From what I understand, that was just what mobile brought in. I guess they can tell what's when you're playing on mobile or when you're playing on PC or console. That was just what mobile brought in, just purchases made on a mobile device. Now, granted, could someone have, is more of a console player and just was oh crap, let me log in on mobile and do, buy this skin because I'm not gonna be able to play today or something. It could be something like that, but $25 million in mobile sales, which is pretty insane. And then it runs well, it runs fine. Is it as good as the console version of the PC? Probably not, but it's pretty damn near close to the actual game. It's fine for any, if you just want to get a quick fix in.
Yeah, I think that might be one of the reasons. Oh no, I think that might be one of the reasons why it's very popular now, because it's a better running PUBG basically, and it's a funner PUBG. Because I think it basically got popular from kind of copying what PlayerUnknown Battleground did, right?
Almost exactly, basically.
Yeah,
I mean, there's some differences in with PUBG. It's more about it's more about building your weapons and your armor rather than actual fortresses and stuff.
Yeah, but but the basic of 100 people and landing on an island, the circle shrinking, and you gotta be the last one. But yeah, I think it's free. Like Steven was saying, it's free. It's on more consoles. It's on more. You can get it in more places in PUBG, and it runs, from what I've heard from the Xbox version and even the PC version, it runs a lot better.
Yeah,
it runs very smoothly on Xbox and PC. Like just watching video, you can tell the difference.
Mm-hmm.
So that article, or an article that's mentioning it, basically said it came out on April 1st. They made 25 million, and they're basically making over $1 million a day on just the iOS version.
Wow.
jeez.
So they are estimating it could gross over 500 million by the end of this year across both platforms. Like,
damn. Well, now you know how they are pairing up with like the Avengers Infinity War and shit. Is because they're just making so much money that everyone wants a piece.
And not only all the stuff that we talked about, but it's become so popular with celebrities.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can't really find a popular sports figure who isn't playing Fortnite. Like that's just a thing now. So like you're following your favorite person on Twitter, and they're like, "Oh, follow me on Twitch. I'm playing Fortnite." Like it's like there's people's celebrations in sports games now are Fortnite dances. Like that's the kind of thing that's it's crazy. Shit's cray.
It's definitely blown up. I think I agree. I think it's the number one thing is that PUBG was pretty popular, but it was it was $30. Whereas this came out, it was free. Also, like I'd say, like the art style too. Like PUBG is like very realistic looking, and looks like real life. Well, not really real life, but that's what they're going for. Whereas this is kind of more like almost like a rare kind of like Pixar aesthetic kind of thing, where it's kind of like it's acceptable for everyone. Where it looks like if you're a parent, you're looking at both games side by side, you'd be like, all right, Fortnite looks a little more acceptable kind of thing. So next up, Disney CEO Bob Iger. Hopefully I said that.
I think it's Iger.
I think that's right.
Says,
wow, you actually said it right. That's great.
I did it right. Orlando. He says that he's guessing that they will try their hand in a new franchise beyond Avengers. What do you think that could be? Basically what he alluded to is that they would be that instead of doing, he wasn't saying Avengers was necessarily not happening anymore after Avengers 4, but he basically said that they might try and do a different kind of franchise almost.
I could see them.
Well, I mean, they could restart. I mean, no spoilers or anything, but they can try to do something with Nova Corps, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Like more space stuff. Since Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is coming out, they can kind of branch out to more space stuff if they wanted to.
Yeah,
that is actually where I got my idea of Alpha Flight. For one, because Captain Marvel, I think, is going to be a big focus of the next phase. So, and she's kind of the leader of that. So it's kind of like cosmic. It's kind of like all that kind of stuff. I was like, oh, that would probably work. Or even the Ultimates was another one I know that Captain Marvel was a big part of. So,
A-Force.
Yeah.
All women.
I mean, for Alpha Flight, I feel like I know more recently it's been more like Captain Marvel based, but it's actually like more of an X-Men thing. Because it's got like...
That was the thing I was wondering too is like, if anyone would know anything, the Disney CEO would. Like, is he maybe like talking like, is he just like talking about X-Men, or is he like talking about Fantastic Four, like something with those properties? Because he's like, after Avengers 4, well, after Avengers 4, based on every timeline I've heard, that deal will go through as long as Comcast doesn't fuck it up. But it's like, okay.
So go ahead. Sorry.
No, I'm done.
I was thinking they'll probably just do like kind of more recent version of the Ultimates. I mean, because it is pretty much the same thing as the Avengers, only slightly different team. And then the most recent version has already Captain Marvel and Black Panther in it. So, like, that's definitely a possibility.
I wonder if they would ever do the Champions, just to do something different.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Then again, like, I'm trying to think, like, all the characters on the Champions are pretty much not in the Marvel Universe right now, which I guess would make sense, but...
Yeah, I mean, you could introduce a couple of them, and then instead of Miles Morales, you can still have just Peter's Spider-Man.
Right, you could kind of make, like, a movie version of it, that just that concept.
I got a prediction right now.
Oh, here it comes.
Got a prediction right now. It's inevitable that X-Men and Fantastic Four are going to show up in the MCU, and it's inevitable
as long as they actually get the deal.
I think either way, I agree with Tony. I think either way they're going to show up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I don't think when they introduce those two, the X-Men and the Fantastic Four, I don't think they'll be in New York. I have a feeling they'll put them in like California somewhere. I feel like they're gonna want to separate the like Iron Man, Captain America, all the New York. I mean, I know like
they're based in New York.
Like, well,
yeah.
Both of those teams have been New York.
Both of those teams have been based out of San Francisco before, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
I think just Fantastic Four, I'm not sure, but X-Men, yes, definitely. I feel like they want to keep some distance from everybody else, all the New York based, even though everybody's New York based in a sense,
right?
They'll want to keep them separate from like, oh, so you there's no chance of you seeing Iron Man or Captain America.
And that's how they do the next Infinity War is like in 10 years, the East Coast and the West Coast come together to take on Galactus or something.
I mean, there is a West Coast Avengers, so.
Right.
I think we need to get the Great Lakes Avengers in here.
Okay.
I think we need to take the Bermuda Triangle Avengers.
Yeah. Honestly, if anything, like I feel like they should do something with like the Young Avengers. I feel like
that's what I was gonna try and say is they're gonna make like a younger team or try and do something, or just like a new team. Like the Avengers will be done, and they'll come up with just a brand new group that they'll come out with a comic for. And then we'll have like Spider-Man, Captain Marvel, like Wasp, like ones like that.
Yeah,
pretty cool.
Or they could do the A-Team, which is just the all-female team.
Oh yeah. I thought you were talking about like Mr. T A-Team for a minute.
Yeah,
that's what I was like Liam Neeson, Bradley Cooper.
That's what it's called. I'm pretty sure it's called A-Team.
Not A-Force.
A-Force. Sorry, that's it.
Oh, you mean the one that I already said?
Oh, did you? Oh, my bad.
I think
I never listened to you.
I know. Shit.
I think the issues they're gonna have is like, that's why I keep thinking like it is gonna be like X-Men or Fantastic Four, because you got to figure they got to think of something that's gonna be as big or bigger than the main event, like the main Captain America, Iron Man, and Thor, like Avengers. Like if they do something like you said, like Alpha Flight. I mean, it'll be good, but it won't. They gotta, it has to be something that's gonna rival.
Right, Alpha Flight is probably more on par with like the Guardians, not necessarily Avengers.
I don't think that there's anything that they can do that will rival the success of what they already had. Like once this next Avengers movie comes out, I don't think that they're gonna have anything that's gonna rival that.
I don't know. I mean, like, because there's definitely villains like they can use that would be like Dr. Doom can be more powerful.
No, I mean I know that, but like just the amount of popularity and looking at it's already been 10 years. In the next 5 years, the superhero, like when people like the superhero like the craze or like the people getting tired of it, like I think that's going to actually hit, and then like we're still going to watch it, but like it won't be as mainstream. I feel like
until they release another Batman movie,
until they completely reboot the DCEU.
They just got to release a Batman movie. That's all they got to do. Not fucking. They just got to. Oh, Jesus Christ!
There was a picture that came out the other day of Ben Affleck walking his kids like on the street, but he's like jacked and he's got a super tight T-shirt on, and they're like he's getting ready for Batman.
True. Yeah. Whatever it is, I'm sure it'll be pretty cool. Whatever. I'm just curious what they're definitely being cagey about what's happening afterwards. Like, so, and I think it's obviously because we don't know what's happening in Avengers 4.
Right. Well, then the other thing is how quickly would they introduce this team, because they've already said,
so like based on that thing, it doesn't make it's just like after Avengers 4 that they might try their hand. Like it's not even seems like it's a for sure thing. And I'm wondering if it's like, would this take place of the Avengers? Like, would the Avengers be like, okay, the Avengers are not done necessarily, but like there's not gonna be like an Avengers movie next phase maybe or something, and instead they're gonna do this and kind of like build this thing up. I don't know. Next news item. Nintendo revealed their plans for their online stuff. It's going to be, I believe, what, $20 a year?
Yeah,
$20 a year.
Yeah, which is pretty good. Basically you get online play like obviously, and then still gonna have the cell phone app for voice chat, which is kind of. But then they're also including, at least at launch, and they're gonna add more to it. 20 regular Nintendo games at launch that basically, if you have the service, you can play. And I believe they said they're adding multiplayer online to these games. But also they revealed that they do not have any plans for Virtual Console with the Switch. What's your guys' thoughts about all this Nintendo news?
Well, I don't have a Switch, so I'm just meh, I guess.
I kind of felt that happening with the no Virtual Console. I feel like they can just like package games at this point and sell them for like $10-15. They can kind of make it's the Virtual Console, but it's not. They're like, oh, here's all the Zelda games, or here's a Zelda collection, or here's a Mario collection. Or like you said, just use their use their online service to be like, oh, we're gonna swap these games out every couple of months.
The other thing I would point out is that the NES Classic and the Super Nintendo Classic were both super successful. And I'm almost wondering if they're like, oh, we can make more money doing it that way versus selling a $1 game here, $3 game there kind of thing. So I'm wondering if they're like, oh, we're just going to go with this model for right now. And like you said, they can always release because I think there was something they released that was like an older game on the Switch that you could buy. I know, but it's like, okay. It's not. At first, I was like, "Oh, that sucks." But then I kind of thought about it. I'm like, it's not really a big deal, I guess. Plus, it's giving you free games like every month. So
Nintendo has this thing where they think of stuff like that. They're like, "Oh, we can make money by doing this, this, and this," and then they have plans to do that. But then they fuck up those plans and they don't make as much money. We're going to do a Nintendo Classic and a Super Nintendo Classic. Great, it's going to make tons of money. Let's not make that much. Let's make half of what we should, and then they sell out and they can't get any more money. But it doesn't really matter to me. I mean, if there's a Virtual Console, as long as they have some old games that you can get, I'll do it. Yeah. I'll probably buy the service because it's only $20 for a year. Yeah. So,
the one thing I was kind of like bummed about with the Virtual Console was like I just felt like it was a very good opportunity for them to have like a mobile like all Nintendo kind of thing, just to be able to take wherever you will go. You can be like, oh, I want to play Super Mario World. Okay, well, go do that. You can do that. It's not a big deal, but. I guess it's not a big deal. My other guess is that they're starting with Nintendo games probably with this service, but as time goes, they'll probably be like, all right, now we're adding Super Nintendo games, and then by that time, maybe they'll do eventually Nintendo 64 or Game Boy or something.
By that time, I better have a new Pokemon game, and then I won't care about anything else.
But yeah, overall, it seemed pretty standard to me. Just the no Virtual Console thing was kind of interesting. Also, them adding online play to some of these games is kind of interesting. Like I know, like Mario Brothers, like the original Mario Brothers, with like, not the actual side scroller game, but like the thing with like where you get the power block and stuff. That might be actually pretty fun online because that was always a fun game, like to sit next to your friends. Mm-hmm. All right, last thing I'm guessing Steven added.
Yeah,
more of a mind fuck, I would say.
Yeah, it was. I saw it on Reddit. It was pretty interesting.
Okay, so lab cultured meat company Memphis Meats said it can grow up to 10,000 cows worth of meat with a single biopsy of animal cells in 2 weeks' time.
Gross. I don't even know what to think about that, though. It's like, what does the meat look like? That's what I want to know.
What does it taste like? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, that's true.
So I was reading the article, and basically it takes, what they said is it takes 18 months to grow to basically grow a single 1,200-pound steer, like a 1,200-pound cow. I don't know what the average is, but 18 months is a long time for one cow. Obviously, they do multiple cows at a time. And then some other things. Basically, it was like the way that farm factory cows are raised nowadays. They take over half of the arable land base, like the farmable land in the world, is just from cow, like literally from raising cattle. Like that's kind of a crazy stat. So they were saying like basically this company, it's been invested in by Bill Gates, by Richard Branson, by Tyson Foods, who makes like Tyson chicken, basically. They like a lot of people are investing by this. And the company said that I think by 2021, they believe that they'll be at like the same price point as regular meat. Like if you went to the store and you were going to buy hamburger, you could buy either one for the same price. But obviously.
Do you think they'll market it as like lab cultured meat, or do you think they'll just say?
No, it'll probably be something along the lines of eco-friendly, or something like that.
Yeah.
Eco meat.
Yeah.
Eco
And like
Eco meat.
they could also just they could also like Tyson could sell it like a company could sell it and just call it hamburger meat, and then there's like a fine print that says this meat was made in San Francisco or something like that. Like I'm sure there will be
like I can see a lot of people having like kind of like an aversion to it at first, I guess, until
when I told Erin, she was like, "Ooh, gross." But then, like, I mean, if you think like if you go to weigh the environmental part of it, and then versus like what it actually is, to me, honestly, if it tastes the same, I don't care. Like,
yeah, I don't care either. As long as it doesn't taste weird, I don't really give a shit.
Yeah, as long as if it's the same price and it tastes the same, then I mean, what's it matter? It's gonna help sustain human life, basically.
At least until we become androids.
yeah.
True. So I thought that was an interesting thing.
That was interesting.
10,000 cows from a little piece of meat.
It's pretty nuts, actually.
Right. Like,
I mean, 10,000 like that's enough meat for a long time.
I wanted to know, like, how does it grow? Like,
so the article basically said they take the biopsy and then they feed it the same things that you would normally feed a cow: water, sugar, nutrients. Like they basically just inject it or whatever, and it grows.
Some black man shit.
I don't know the science. I don't know the science behind it, but that's like
just like I'm like imagining like a glob of meat just like chewing on sugar,
right? it's like Quad from Adult Swim.
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty crack.
Cool.
That's cray, ain't it, Jay? What she ordered? Fish fillet.
Or she ordered lab grown meat.
Lab grown meat. Oh, that's it for news. So that's all we got for news today. All right. So let's get to the main event, which is recommendations. This was actually Tony's idea because he made a good point. After like week 2, we just stopped doing them. So we were like, let's just do an episode where we just recommend a bunch of shit. Which actually, I don't even mind if we just did this like once every other month. That might actually not be a bad idea. But yeah. So recommendations. Basically, we each came up with 4 because we're the Fanboy 4, and we try and do things with 4s. So here's another thing we're doing with 4s. So I'm going to start with you, Steven, because I always start with Brandon because his name starts with a B. So even though technically Tony's name is Anthony, so he would be the one who should be starting, but we're going to start with Steven because fuck rules.
Yeah.
So what is your first recommendation?
My first recommendation is going to be Third Eye Comics, the comic book store in Annapolis. This is actually, do you also have that on your list, Tony?
Nope.
Okay.
Damn.
So Justin mentioned he was with us last weekend for Free Comic Book Day, and our local comic book store, me, Tony, Brandon's local comic book store is Third Eye Comics. It's one of the top comic book stores I think in the country. There's articles that literally said it was the best, and like everybody loves it. There was a guy there, like you mentioned, Justin, that he's basically making a documentary about comic book stores, and Third Eye is like one of his main ones that he's promoting. But the comic book store is it's an awesome place. It's a very large store. They have everything from comics to collectibles to figurines. They even have a game store next door with, Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon and all the other kinds of games. So, I definitely recommend it. Their customer service, though, that's what sets you apart. You definitely feel, what was that guy kept saying, the community, like what kind of community do you feel, basically? Yeah, you basically walk in and you feel like you're part of the Third Eye family. Like you just know that you are. Like they know you. Well, they know me by name. Like some of them know me by name. Some of them know Tony by name. I don't think they know Brandon because he didn't have a box. But I mean, they know you when you come in. Like they know that you're one of them.
Yep.
So definitely recommend.
Like
even I went you. Like they were.
Yeah, because I went in there once before Saturday or Friday, whatever it was, and literally Torma, the one guy there who shout out, he was the guy that last year when I wasn't even in comics yet, I was just getting into it. Like he's like, what do you like? You know, like it made like comics. I kind of feel like for a lot of people is intimidating. It's one of those things where it's like, I don't know where to start. I don't know what to do. Like, oh, I like this character. I like that character, but I don't really know where to start. And I feel like there's a lot to read in this. But like that place, they make it like simple for you. Like they're like, okay, just read this. This is a good story with that character, and then just go from there. And then or do this, do that. Like, oh, do you want to read something current? Okay, well, these things that are going on right now are cool. It's like, so yeah, but. Like I said, Torma, he was the one that gave me that advice last year. When I walked in, he's like, "Oh yeah, you're the guy from Chicago." You know, he recognized me. He's only seen me once, and then the day he saw me, it was their grand opening at their new store, and he saw probably 1,000 people. So it's like the fact that he just like, "Oh, I know you," like was pretty cool.
The other thing too is we waited in line on last Friday for Free Comic Book Day. Like we got there, we were early. We were one of the top 50 in line, and we were sitting there and like in chairs waiting, and the owner of the store, Steve, just comes out and he like sees Justin and I, and he's like, "You guys are the ones that are always like, talking to us on Twitter and on Facebook," and like introduced himself and like kind of talked to us a little bit. So it's just cool that they like, social media is a big thing for companies now, like trying to interact with their customers. And they definitely did that. Like that, it was an example of in person what happened. He was like, "Are you Justin? Are you Steven? Like, which one are you?" And like, it was just cool, I think, to for them to recognize us as their.
Yo, to these fuckers, they're always brown nosing me,
right? This is the asshole that keeps asking me about the Facebook group.
You're not getting any for free shit,
right? Even that. So Justin's been constantly asking about a Facebook group that they were going to make for the store, and they haven't been able to make it yet. But he even like as soon as he figured out who Justin was, he was like, "Look, hey, the Facebook group, it's coming. Like we're still working on it." Like he knew what you were like. What you constantly are asking, like what you're looking for, and he was right there to be proactive with it. So can't speak highly enough. Maybe we'll tag him on our when we post it.
True.
Have some people listen.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely my favorite comic shop. Although I gotta admit, my comic shop did pretty good today. Like he didn't know that I didn't come in for Free Comic Book Day, so he just probably assumed I was busy, and he literally put aside like one copy of every single book from Free Comic Book Day in a bag. I was like, "Here, you didn't, and it's like, here, you weren't here Saturday, so I put these aside for you." I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Nice.
That's cool.
Nice.
But yeah, so let's go to Anthony next. We'll go.
I know,
I said it was like, wait, who the fuck's Anthony?
Like, wait a minute. All right, so I'm trying to decide which one I'm gonna use first. All right, I know which one I go first. I want to recommend this game I bought on my Switch. It's called Axiom Verge. It's a game that came out a few years ago on PS4 and I think Xbox. So basically, it's a side-scrolling game. The closest comparison I can give it is Metroid and Super Metroid. Basically, more Super Metroid. It's where you're a scientist. Yep, actually.
I'm gonna pull it up in the store as you're talking about it.
It's where you're a scientist who gets, I guess, transferred to another world, and you get this gun that can like change. So you get a bunch of different weapons, not kind of like Metroid, but you get a bunch of different like weapons that do different things, and you get a bunch of different powers. And basically, you have to find your way through this like all these corridors, basically like I said, like Super Metroid, and fight bosses. It's really cool. Looks very good. Hopefully, let's see if I can get it up real quick.
Did you say it was a side scroller?
It looks like a side scroller. It's like side scrolling, kind of like Metroid.
Retro looking kind of game. Actually, I think if I remember correctly, it was one of the games with gold for Xbox a while back. Like I think because I feel like I own that game, but I've never played it.
Yeah, it's really good. My friend Brendan, he loves this game because he's a very big old school Super Nintendo guy. So yeah, he loves the game. So wait, I was like, maybe I can kind of. I wonder if I can play it backwards.
Is that who you do the Super Games Brew with?
Yes, Super Game Brendan.
Brews.
Yeah, I'm actually trying to.
Brendan.
I actually can't see this, but I'm trying to look at it through my screen.
You're too close now.
You're too close. Too close, man.
It's like it kind of has a Metroid feel. I'm probably
yeah.
Yeah, I see it.
So,
that's pretty cool.
So Axiom Verge, check it out.
Axiom Verge. Can you add lists to the Switch? Like, can I add it to a watch list?
I don't know if they have
add to wish list. Boom.
Oh, well, there you go.
Done. Justin, you all right?
Oh, sorry. I was trying to see if I had it. I was like, where the heck is it? I thought I had it. Maybe not. We'll go to Brandon next.
Okay, so my first recommendation is going to be the movie Ready Player One. So for any of you who don't know what it's about, it basically in the near future, I guess, world's like basically kind of overpopulated, or at least this one city is. And
Isn't
basically,
like Cincinnati?
I can't remember exactly where it is. Yeah, it's random. It's some random city.
Of course, it's Ohio.
But basically, like everyone's lives revolve around this virtual reality where even like their money is like kind of invested into it. And so if you lose in a game and you lose money, you're basically losing money in real life too. And then obviously the creator has passed away, and he's left an Easter egg for anybody to find, and if they do, they get sole possession of the company. And then they obviously embarks on the adventure. Right. So it's actually like I wasn't going into the movie with high expectations, to be honest, like because I had heard that, I myself had heard the book wasn't that great. But after seeing it, it definitely exceeded my expectations, and it was it's very fun, it's very heartfelt too. And like you definitely get some of that what is it, Frisian?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you definitely get that during certain moments of the movie. And there's a ton of like both like
actual
modern
Easter eggs?
and actual Easter eggs, like both modern and like older video games like Atari and Super Mario, and then even not even just like video games, there's also a ton of movie references and stuff like that. So it's definitely a really fun watch, and I would recommend you see it before it gets out of the theaters.
Yeah, I mean to do that. Probably should do that soon before it's gone. Probably be on Blu-ray next month or some shit. So I guess it's my turn. Which one do I want to do first? Let's see. I'm going to do going digital for comics. And what I'm actually more specifically is there's two services that I highly suggest if you are the kind of person that wants to go read your stuff digitally. First off, if you're going to go digitally, Marvel includes codes with all their stuff. DC is kind of getting away from it. Today they had a comic come out, Justice League No Justice. It did have a digital code. So kind of hit or miss with DC, but Marvel does all digital codes with most like basically every comic. So get an iPad or a tablet, like a full size one. But the two programs I want to do is for Marvel is Marvel Unlimited. It's like $10 a month, or I think it's like 50 or 60 a year. And basically it has everything up to 6 months ago. And there's a ton. It's basically one of the ways I've caught up on a lot of series without spending a ton of money, because I already spent a ton of money and could have spent a lot more if it wasn't for something like Marvel Unlimited. It's just basically just anything you can think of. It's there as long as it's like from 6 months ago. So if you're the kind of person that doesn't need to be like super current, you can always do Marvel Unlimited for Marvel stuff, and it's 6 months. But for DC and all the other like Image and Dark Horse, there's a thing called Hoopla. Hoopla Digital is technically what it's called. And it requires a library card, and from a library that supports it. If you just Google
a library card, if you just Google search Hoopla map, that's how I found. Well, actually, my library had it, but I was looking for Steven to see for him. But if you do Hoopla map, it'll bring up a map, and you can put in your zip code, and it'll show you like libraries near you that have Hoopla. And basically, what it is that you can rent for free. You can rent 10 titles a month, and basically it's not individual comics, it's like trades, like actual books. But everything like Marvel is just kind of starting to get into it, but it's not like super recent. But like DC, Image, Dark Horse, Aftershock, like IDW, whatever, like there's trades, like they come out on Wednesday and they're usually up by the following Wednesday on there. So like if there's like a series you want to read, like Superman or Batman, like it's up there, like it's all of it is there. And it is like really, really nice because, like I said, you only get 10 things a month, and you can't
you can't like get more. There's not like you can pay for more. Also with Hoopla, not comics related, but they have like movies, they have music, they have books. So you don't actually just have to do that. But Hoopla, like I said, like there's a lot of stuff where I was like, oh, I'm kind of interested in that, but I really don't want to spend the money to get like the trades and all this other stuff. Well, if you have a library card, you literally sign up for an account and you got it. Like for instance, Saga is something that I'm going to read actually after I'm done with one of my other suggestions, which I won't tell you what it is yet, but like they have all the trades for that. So I was like, oh, cool. So I'll read those there first before I spend a bunch of money on all the trades, because there's I think 7 or 8 of them. So yeah, so if you want to go digital and start reading comics, especially even if you don't like, you're not sure if you want to read comics, like maybe you just saw Infinity War or you're going to see Deadpool in a week or whatever, and you're like, I really would like to know more about like read comics, like because I know I did it a couple times before I finally got into it. Like it's a good way to kind of just like try it out because it's free. It's literally limited. I would Google like Marvel Unlimited trial because I know when I first started, I got like a month free. So definitely check that out too. So yeah, because I personally read digital when I can. So it's been really nice. Like, oh, I've heard this is good, or I've heard this is good, just to go download it, read it, and then that's it, basically.
Cool.
I don't know. I like spending money.
Excuse me, sir. Do you have your library card?
No,
anything with the library card. Just want to watch the Page Master.
Page Master.
Jesus Christ. Is that your next recommendation, Steven?
Yep. My next recommendation is the movie The Page Master. Macaulay Culkin's finest work. Just kidding. Was it my turn, actually?
Yeah, it's your turn.
So I am going to, let's see, which one do I want to do? I'll just go with the mobile game that Justin got me into, Marvel Strike Force. God damn, Justin. It is I don't even know how to really explain the game. Basically, you get all the characters and turn-based strategy game. Join Alliance and play. You can also just free to play. Obviously, I free to play because I don't think I have anything more than 99 cents on a mobile game, except whatever it was on that, $5-10.
For what?
But for Knights of the Old Republic on mobile.
Oh yeah.
Like you had to buy the game, so.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, so Marvel Strike Force. It's pretty fun, free game if you like Marvel, especially now Avengers: Infinity War's come out and Marvel's super hype right now. It's a fun game.
Yeah, I guess
Justin plays it. Mark plays it. Josh plays it.
According to the Reddit, I think I don't know if someone data mined or something, but I think the next, like, so Thanos right now is like the raid in it. I think Deadpool is the next one, which makes sense because the movie's coming out. But
interesting.
Yeah, but basically, like he said, you kind of like, it's kind of almost like old school Final Fantasy, like real old school. And like you build a team and you have like healers and you have like tanks and like characters. Basically, you build a team of Marvel people, like villains and heroes. And basically, you have a team, I think, of 5, right? Yeah, 5. 5 is the max of your team. And basically, you go and there's like campaign missions and there's the arena where you've kind of faced against other people's teams, and it's pretty fun. It's actually, for like he said, you don't actually have to spend a dime on it, and like Lily, it keeps me busy probably an hour total over the day. So, but yeah, so that means Tony's next, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I didn't know if I fucked up the order.
Anthony.
So my next recommendation is a slight cheat because how I bought it. It's 2 movies, but I bought them in a pack. I bought them as one pack. So iTunes. So since I've had an Apple TV, I've been kind of scouring anytime a movie's on sale. I have an app that kind of tells me when a movie's on sale. That's besides the point. Anyway, my recommendation is The Raid Redemption and The Raid 2. So it was on sale recently on iTunes. Have any of you seen any of you 3 seen those movies?
Yeah.
Raid and what?
Basically, I'm just gonna go by what the first movie's about. First movie's basically about this like group of cops, like a SWAT team, basically going into this, I guess, this apartment building to get this drug lord. and basically getting trapped in the apartment. Where basically most of the tenants are like henchmen, or like they work for the drug lord. And he basically tells everybody in the building, whoever kills all these cops and brings them to me, you get free rent for the rest of the year. Like you can just live here free, permanently. So it's basically, and like I said, it's basically an R-rated version, just an R-rated like action movie. I think it's Japanese. I don't know. It's Asian. I don't know if it's Japanese, Korean. I think the guy who made it. Yeah. I think the guy who did it is. Let me get
the director.
Yeah.
Is Gareth Edwards?
Yeah, it's Gareth Edwards, the guy who did Godzilla, right?
Yeah, he did Godzilla, or the newest Godzilla.
Yeah,
the new Godzilla. Yeah. So he did 1 and 2. And like I said, if you want a real,
it's called The Raid, right?
The Raid Redemption.
Raid, yeah.
And the second one's just The Raid.
Oh, The Raid Redemption.
Yeah. The closest thing has any of you seen Dredd, like the last like Judge Dredd movie, that current one?
Yeah,
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's almost like a video game.
Dredd
where
is
it's
like that.
And the apartment building is like
levels, yeah. So, and basically, I can't really spoil. The Raid 2 is basically one of the cops from the first one is undercover to find a person or to find a group of people for something that happens. So without spoiling, that's very like I can't.
Happens and then something else happens.
Something happens and something happens.
Fighting involved.
He's out there, and it is extremely violent.
Is this the I don't know if you can see that. Is this the
yes
the screen? So you said the director was the guy that did Godzilla?
Yeah.
It is not. The guy who directed it, his name is Gareth Evans.
Wait,
maybe
and he's only directed the Raid 2 and VHS 2.
You're right. Yes, you're right. I think the name is so close. Yeah. It's kind of close.
Okay. I want to make sure I was looking at the right one.
No, you're right. That's him.
Okay.
But yeah, cool. it's a very, if you just like a good action, like a good R-rated action movie, check out The Raid and The Raid 2.
Raid and Raid 2.
I'm gonna check out The Raid when Steven gets back from his vacation. I'll check out The Raid.
No, we won't, because we won't be fucking high enough level.
Speak for yourself.
Jesus Christ.
What level are you?
I am, I think, 342.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's my max. That's just what I have on right now.
It's crazy.
True. All I know is every time I go do that escalation protocol, I just get my ass whooped.
Yep.
Like a bunch of thralls just coming. I'm like, I can't kill them fast enough. I'm not high enough. It's just like, Rah! All right. Anyways, that's our destiny. That's your Might of Multi-class sidetrack. You know what I'm saying? Brandon.
So my second recommendation is going to be the color edition of the Scott Pilgrim volumes. So
that's racist. Racist. God.
So actually,
that would be the one you recommend. The color.
Right. This is actually the first volume right here. First of all, I recommend even if you don't do the color edition, I would recommend reading all the volumes anyways, because they're really good. Especially if you're a fan of the movie. There's a lot of stuff that obviously couldn't make it to the movie, especially in terms of Scott's background or and then some of the other characters as well. But the color edition is just, it kind of really helps them bring them to life a little more. So, and especially with Ramona, she changes her hair throughout the volumes, but you can't really tell that without the color edition and stuff like that. And then, it just makes it so much more exciting and vibrant. So yeah, that's what I recommend.
Yeah, Free Comic Book Day. He that first volume.
Yeah.
Did I fall asleep for a second and didn't remember?
How many total?
That was earlier in the
volumes are there?
There is 5. I think.
Did it freeze up for you guys?
A little bit.
Yeah, for a second.
Would you get my answer?
Yeah, 5.
Okay. Yeah, I believe that's
5 times. 5 times.
It's and they're not all called Scott Pilgrim versus the World. That's actually just volume 2 is is called Scott Pilgrim. Like this one's called Scott Pilgrim's Precious Little Life. That's the first volume. So
got it.
Super duper.
Justin.
My next recommendation is actually a band that I didn't really, I guess, listen to them completely. Like I knew a couple songs, but it's the band Dance Gavin Dance. They're not like huge, but they're not also like unheard of either. I just like the dynamic of the band. Like they're just different to me. They're like they're screamo or metalcore, wherever you want to kind of put it. I'm sure Brandon can elaborate a little bit more, but like, so like the clean vocals, the lyrics kind of like make sense, like they're normal song lyrics, but the screamo lyrics are like literally like, I feel like he just found words that went together sometimes. Just for an example, one of the screamo parts, he says, "I couldn't wait to tap into the brain of my cat and let him know he's my widow baby meow meow boo." Like that's the screamo lyric in this song. And like, I don't know, I just really like, I've been listening to all their CDs. They've gone through a few different lead singers. But I've just been like listening to like kind of their discography like for like the last few weeks. And I've just been like, oh, this is a good song. Oh, I like this song. I like this song. But like, it was just a band I've never really delved into really until recently. They also have a new CD coming out on June 6th. And the 2 songs that they've released so far, I really like a lot. So it's basically, I'll keep this one short and sweet. Like, check them out. Dance Gavin Dance is the name. I'm sure by most people probably, if you're into that kind of music, have heard of them. They're not like they're like brand new or anything, but it's just like a band. I'm like, oh, you know, if you haven't checked them out, like I didn't check them out.
Yeah, you're like 7 years too late.
Our fans should know. Like, they were in in my concert play or lineup.
Yeah. And I know that
we have fans.
Playlist. We've definitely put some of their songs on there too.
Yeah.
Like this week, I was like, oh, I'll put this song. I'm like, no, I can't do a Dance Gavin Dance song every fucking week on my playlist. The playlist is gonna literally be Dance Gavin Dance. But
yeah,
it's all I've been listening to lately though. So
also the screamer that you talk about, I think his name's Will Swan.
I think his name's John something.
Maybe it's John.
I think Will is the good
John Mess. Wait.
Yes, John Mess. That's it.
You guys did the same thing on Friday.
Did we?
Yep.
We did the same conversation.
Right, so Will Swan is the guitarist.
Yep.
Who is really awesome. He actually owned or as a part of like his own record label. I think it's Blue Swan Records. And there's a lot of really good bands that are very similar to Dance Gavin Dance in that record label. So you should check them out too, or check out the label.
Definitely. Steven?
So Brandon, the one that we have together, we should just do last because then I think we can talk about it a little bit. So my third one is going to be, I'm going to recommend that you go watch the new music video from Childish Gambino called "This Is America" because it's actually a really great video. Watch it once, enjoy the music, and then go back and try to watch it a second time and notice everything you didn't notice the first time. Because there's so much stuff you won't catch the first time if you haven't watched it. Like I watched it the first time and like thought, oh, like this is cool. Like, oh, there's some things that are happening. Like that's kind of crazy. But then when you go and break it down of other things that are happening, it's kind of crazy about like what he did. He's an awesome entertainer, singer, rapper, artist. And you can't go wrong with Donald Glover. I mean,
yeah,
everything.
He's literally going to be like one of the biggest stars ever by the end of the year.
Yeah,
with him being,
I feel like he's
solo and like he did have the Daredevil cartoon, Deadpool cartoon. I mean, obviously that's not happening now, but like he's multi-talented. Like he's a great actor. He's a great artist. Like his last album was kind of like almost like funk, but like before that he was like a rap artist. It's like I don't know, he can do it all. He's ridiculous.
I feel like he's kind of like a new age Will Smith, like how Will Smith was kind of multifaceted when he was younger type thing. And like Will Smith was in a lot of movies and did, he was rapping or singing or whatever you want to call it. And I think Donald Glover will kind of get into that as well. So
right. Like I was gonna say, Glover hasn't really gotten quite into like the movies just yet, like in terms of being an A-lister.
Mhm.
Right. Will be. I feel like like you said, Justin. By the end of this year, like
Yeah,
next
after
year and the year
Solo.
after that, he's going to be in some popular. He's going to be in the big movies.
Right. I mean, he's already going to be in a Solo, but
And he was in Spider-Man. I don't know if they'll do anything more with him, but just I don't know. He's like you said.
What movie was he in? He was in. It was like an apocalyptic movie type thing. It's not 2012, but it's something like that.
Oh yeah.
The Martian, I think. That's not like 2012, but he was in The Martian.
Yep, you're right. He was in that. He was actually pretty good at that too.
Yeah, he's good in basically everything he does. So
this isn't one of my recommendations, but if you've not watched the show Community, definitely go back and watch Community.
Yeah,
that show is very, very underrated. Like I kind of feel like when I got into Parks and Rec, I got into Community at the same time, and those were like my two shows for the longest time, as far as like comedy. Troy and Abed in the morning.
So yeah, this is American Music Video by Childish Gambino. Check it out.
Cool.
Tony.
My next one is another movie. It is the animated movie from DC Comics, Batman Ninja. That is a damn good animated movie. It's basically Batman in the past in feudal Japan, which fits very well since Batman is technically a ninja.
Is he is it Bruce Wayne Batman or a different iteration of him?
No, so the premise of the movie is Gorilla Grodd is at Arkham Asylum in present time, and he has a time machine, and he basically sends himself, Batman, and a handful of Batman villains into the past. Basically, at this point, when Batman, so basically in the movie, does not really give anything away. When they go back in the past, the villains have been there for 2 years already. So something happens, and Batman is sent, like he gets sent 2 years past behind them. So they're already there and they already get established. So it's Penguin, Poison Ivy, Two-Face, Joker, and Harley Quinn, and Deathstroke. They all have their own like parts of Japan, so they have their own like little territories. And basically, like I said, it's basically Batman in the past trying to bring them all back to the present time. A lot of his tech is gone, so he has to kind of resort to like his bare like ninja skills. And very good. The middle to end gets fucking crazy. I don't want to spoil whatever. If any of you ever watch it, it gets ridiculous. It turns into it gets anime as fuck.
That actually sounds exciting. I'm gonna watch that.
Yes, there's like not the end, but like the middle to end part, near end. It's just like I'm just like, what the fuck? I'm just like, what? Huh? I'm like, this is
Do they like? Does it happen like some animes where like their mouths start moving really fast, and then there's like words that come out? Like they have like they're speaking Japanese with like their mouth movements, but like they say like Batman, I will get you, but it's like a lot of words.
I didn't really notice that.
Like I just thought movies. That would be really funny. He's like moving his mouth a lot, and he goes, "I'm Batman." Like
I didn't notice that. Like I don't think they do any like kind of cheesy like that kind of stuff. It's just like kind of like crazy stuff. I'm like, you're just like, there's one thing in particular. I'm just like, really? And I'm like, it's fucking, it's. I'm like, but that is still fucking great.
Yeah, I will watch it.
Oh, he's gonna summon a spirit bomb.
I'm trying to see if the writer or director did any like famous animes.
I think the director did do one. Fuck,
there's something called Zoo. That's the only thing I can see. Other than that, he's pretty like.
Mm-hmm.
The writer did a bunch of I don't even know. He did Kill la Kill like scripts. So that makes sense.
So the guy who voiced the Joker voiced a character called Umio in Pokemon the first movie.
And he's also what's the young in Arrested Development with the hand, the brother with the missing hand. God, I can't think of his name now. His name's Toby Hawk, like
Toby, yeah.
Buster, yeah. Buster? Yeah, that's who the Joker is.
Oh, that's hilarious. Oh, oh man, never mind. This is kind of spoilers. God damn it.
Don't be spoiling shit.
So there's a certain blue guy in a certain movie we saw recently.
Yep,
from
I
Har-
saw.
I knew. Yeah,
Okay.
I like how I noticed it the second time. Yeah,
Yeah.
Wait.
we'll
Huh?
talk about it. Go.
Yeah.
Just,
All right, we'll talk about it afterwards. We'll talk about it
Yeah.
all right, Brandon next.
Oh, damn, I don't know which game I want to recommend. So, okay, so I'm gonna go with the game video game I'm gonna recommend is Far Cry 5. So,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
that game was incredibly fun. Like from the story
It was
to
real
like
fun.
just like doing random stuff in general, like flying planes around. Like I definitely recommend if you get a chance to just do the co-op. Unfortunately, like you can't really do main story missions and get credit with when you do co-op and stuff like that. But like if you're just messing around and like flying a plane, like me and Steven did it. We were like messing around on the game, and like I think I was driving the plane and somehow like I mean we're just like messing around flying through trees and stuff like that, and somehow like we just like completely crashed. Like I think I one of the wings or something got caught
We
in
must
the
have
tree.
clipped something, but we just died. Like we instantly just
It was like
died.
it's
He's just
just
flying a
like,
plane.
you just see the plane just like kind of nosedive instantly and right at the ground. And then I mean this is almost a knock on the game, but like there was a couple of I don't know if it was like a glitch with the game, but like there's also NPCs that follow you, and when we were playing,
Goddamn cheese.
we had a bear that's like helps us. His name is Cheeseburger, and for some reason he was doing.
Yes, there's a bear named
different-
Cheeseburger.
Yes, there's a bear named Cheeseburger, and for some reason he was doing completely different things on my screen and Steven's screen. Because like every time I would ask Steven where Cheeseburger was, he's like, "Oh, he's up ahead of us." Like he's just sitting there. On my screen, he's literally climbing down a waterfall. Like and then he just disappears into the middle of the earth. But according to Steven, he was still there. I mean, like it was a glitch, I guess, but it was still hilarious and like I don't know. There's just a bunch of stuff kept happening and yeah, it's just fun in general to play.
Sometimes games like that, glitches are like the best part.
Right, exactly.
Because I've seen something on Reddit with that game where a helicopter, I think it was either in the back of a truck or a semi, and it like glitched as like one. But when the helicopter tried to go up, like it was just like it was couldn't like separate. So,
I'm trying to think.
Tony has played that game on Game Brews. Check it out.
Oh yeah, I do play. Yeah, I'm playing Super Game Brews.
Look at that, trying to plug your stuff. You don't even know.
You're like, oh, I did. Oh yeah. So that means I'm up, right?
Yep.
All right. So I'm going to suggest recommend the Image comic series Wicked and the Divine. It is I forgot to write down who's the author and
Karen Gillan.
That's it. That is it.
Yeah. No,
I'm not really a big
with Nebula.
I'm not really, yeah, right. It sounds like the same person, does it? I'm not really a big person. It's like, oh, like the art in this book is just phenomenal, but like the art in this book is phenomenal. Like it's very clean, and whoever does the colors like does a very good job of like making everything pop. But basically, the story is about every 90 years, these gods possess people and take over their bodies, and they get 2 years to live as gods, basically. And basically, by being gods, they're also like kind of like pop stars, and it's kind of talking about like that's like just the core concept, but there's kind of like a mystery. At least I haven't read the whole thing yet. I'm about halfway through, but it's very, very good. Like it's just very interesting, different stuff. And then, I mean, obviously all I've been really reading until recently is like Marvel and DC. And it's kind of maybe one of the reasons I really like it is it's kind of different from that stuff. It's kind of a change of pace. But it's just like it never like, there hasn't been like a lull. It's always just been very good. There's a lot of twists and turns and things like you don't expect. And like I won't spoil anything, but like literally like something happened and I was just like, oh wow. And then all of a sudden like something else like crazy happened. And I was like, whoa. But yeah, so like it's just really, really good thing. Like it's very good. It's called The Wicked and the Divine. And if you want to get in the comics, definitely check it out. I think there's 35 issues currently, but you can, that's something that's definitely on Hoopla though, to link my two together there. So very good. Steven. Actually, this will probably be a Steven / Brandon because you both the same one, right?
I was actually going to say you and Tony should go first, and then that way we can kind of close the show with.
Okay, Tony.
All right. So my final recommendation, which as of right
Mine's
now,
kind of sad.
Oh Jesus, kind of sad. Jesus. So as of right now, this is probably my favorite thing this year so far.
Ooh,
Personally.
Coming over my house. Out. Got it.
Boy,
Get out.
Boy.
Boy.
My last recommendation is God of War on the PS4. This game is incredible. I beat it maybe a week or two ago, and I'm still thinking about it. I'm still playing it, doing side quests and everything. This game about a week ago. Where's my hat at? So I throw it. Where's my hat so I can throw it? Shit. This game is incredible. The combat is great. The story, I think I really like the story, mostly because it's such a contrast of what came before it. And because, like, I just like how they reinvented Kratos so much, and they made him, like, a character you care about. Because in the previous games, he was basically just an asshole who wants to kill all the Greek gods. And there was nothing redeeming about him. He just murdered mercilessly. He didn't give a shit. I think at one time he just took a random girl and like threw her in like a meat grinder just to like get through a door.
Well,
Just a
goddamn.
Yeah, exactly. But in this game, he's older. He has a son, and they really do a good job of kind of making him. You can tell he regrets a lot of the things he's done in his previous life, and just how he's trying not to have his son turn out the way he did. So the basic gist of the story is it's him and his son. They want to, and this is not a spoiler. His wife has passed away, and they had her cremated, and they're basically going to take her ashes to the highest mountain and where they live in Midgard, and just spread her ashes out. And basically, some things happen. They still going to do that, but there's some obstacles in the way of doing that. And that's basically basically a father and son journey to get to spread their wife and mother's ashes. The combat is very good. Instead of thinking the previous game he had to change his Blades of Chaos, now he has his Leviathan axe, which is pretty awesome. Basically, Jesus Christ. Basically, it's an axe that he.
26 axe.
Jesus Christ.
Continue.
Jesus Christ. Just you broke me. You broke me.
Boy.
But yeah. But basically, it's an axe he has that he uses melee attack, but also he can throw it, and what's very cool, which I think is one of the coolest things in any game at this moment I've ever seen. Is you throw it, you can throw it anywhere. You could throw it and basically kind of just keep going in the game. You hit triangle, the axe always comes back. So no matter what you do, it always comes back to you, and that's a lot. Basically. Oh, which is funny because it's in Norse mythology. So at some point, who knows? Maybe Thor will pop up. He's mentioned in the game. Maybe we'll see a Thor. Maybe we'll see Odin.
Ooh.
Maybe we'll see other Greek gods. I mean, Norse gods. So
damn.
I mean, it's the game is set in Norse mythology. So if you have a PS4 Pro, if you have a PS4, regardless of which type, I would pick this game up. It's my best. It's the game of the year right now for me. It's the media thing of the year right now for me. So can't be topped.
Although, is there anything that would really rival it right now? Like, I'm trying to think of other things like media, Infinity War. But game-wise, I don't think there's anything else that's come out.
No, game-wise, no, nothing.
Maybe not.
Nothing. Nothing. I would even put this above for me personally.
Of course you would.
I will. You damn right I would. You can't go wrong with a good father and son story. Can't really beat that.
What about never mind.
What about a father-daughter story?
Right. That's what I was just gonna say. Is that spoilery? And it's
Wait. Oh, I was like, wait. I was like, wait, what? Oh, okay. It beats. I would say, even though I really like it beats that. It might beat that out for me personally. And
well.
does anybody else say boy? So no.
Hey. Justin?
My last recommendation is to see, how do I word this? To not be afraid to interact with strangers online. Because 3 years ago, I met a little man named Stephen Galvin online.
A little man.
This little man. Son of a bitch.
Little man.
My little man. But basically,
Your head.
I met Stephen online on this website called the100.io, which was at the time just a place for groups of people that wanted to play Destiny that were like-minded. It kind of, I think you answered like a few questions and it kind of like grouped you. That's not how I got into it, but regardless. And now it's 3 years later and I've visited there 3 times and he's visited here 1 time. And not only Steven, now I have Brandon and I have Tony and I have Josh and I have Aaron. Like I have like real friendships now. Like, so it's just like, I just say, because before then I would have been like, because even then before, because actually the whole reason way I got in the group is because I realized me, my wife, and our friend Mark were playing Trials of Cyrus in Destiny, and we were not leveled for it, and we were getting our ass stomped. So we just started dancing, and we got invited to the group. It was like, oh, you guys seem cool because you didn't be stupid and just leave. You just said, screw it, let's dance and whatever. So basically, even then I was kind of like, I don't know. I don't really like playing with strangers. You never know with people, whatever. So, but I'm just saying, I recommend like just giving it a shot. There's really no real drawbacks. Worst case, you just kind of block people. But yeah, so my general recommendation is like, you never know what could happen. You could find some real friends that you actually like are really good friends with. So, or your hashtag same person. So
you could also find active murderers. So definitely be careful.
You could find
a little cautious, maybe. Don't give anybody money. Justin gave.
Yeah, don't give anyone money or like
hundreds of dollars
information. But like, yeah. So
you guys even got engaged this weekend.
Oh shit!
That's true.
Where's that?
With some Green Lantern rings that we were given for free at said event. Or actually, mine was a white lantern. Yours a red lantern.
No, mine was the red lantern.
Use yellow. Use yellow lantern. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
But
I'm trying to see if I have my rings.
I know I teared up.
I know. All of a sudden, right after that, we got a text message from Brandon asking if the windows are going to be fogged up.
That we did.
They consummated it.
Consummated. But yeah, because like I know a lot of people like they're like, I don't want to talk to strangers online, but like, and there's people that are dicks. We've encountered those too in over the time doing raids and stuff in Destiny. But you can find some really cool, like even like guys like Babelfish and Ian. Yeah, like we used to play Iron Band with them. We haven't really talked to them in a while, but like there's cool people out there that are just like you that you never know. Maybe you'll become one of your best friends. So just like give it a shot. You never know what could happen, kind of thing.
Take chances.
Cool. Take chances. Yeah. Get AIDS. I mean, don't do that. We're protected.
My goodness.
Was that Magic Johnson's slogan?
I think so.
Goodness gracious. All right. So for this next part, spoilers ahead. We will probably be talking a little bit about Avengers Infinity War because that's my recommendation as well as Brandon's. So spoilers for anybody who is watching that doesn't want to hear about that.
Guys, I don't feel so good.
You have been warned.
God damn it.
What a douche. Yeah.
It's okay. He's coming back.
Yeah. So our recommendation is for Avengers Infinity War. Hit you in the feels, get you super frisian. For me, it was one of the top 5 Marvel movies. We still got to do a ranking podcast.
I know we got to do that, but I don't see how you can't say this isn't like one of your top 5 Marvel movies. Tony, even you, son of a bitch. Just say it.
I gotta look at that list. You gotta look at that list real quick.
God damn it!
But I already got Black Panther 2 on the list.
Oh, true? Damn. That's racist?
Already got it on the list.
So basically, in a few years, your top 5 is going to be Black Panthers 1 through 3.
1, 2,
and then
1, 2, 3.
Yep.
Captain America,
And
Winter
then,
Soldier, and then
Sam Wilson, Captain America.
yeah.
then X-Men, then Uncanny X-Men.
Jesus.
Yeah, it was just a great. I think it was a great movie in general. I think that Josh Brolin did a fantastic job at playing Thanos. I think he was one of the.
I think he might be the villain for me.
Yeah, I'd have to go back and rank them, but he's definitely top 3 for me for villains.
If you're doing, are you doing only movies or Marvel in general?
Marvel movies,
because say if you do Marvel in general, I don't know. Purple Man was pretty fucking good.
Yeah, that's true. Purple Man,
and he just did like Marvel because technically he's in the MCU because the Netflix is supposedly in the same universe. If you had to do it, I think I'd give an edge to Purple Man, just a little bit above him.
People listen to me like, wait, what? Thanos is purple. You talking about
like
guy?
Thanos is the purple.
just for the movies, I would say
Kilgrave. We'll just call him Kilgrave.
Kilgrave,
that's the name I was trying to figure out.
For a second, I was like, "Who the fuck are you talking about, Purple Man?"
Kilgrave. You got Kilgrave. You got Killmonger, and then you got
Marvel. So with Marvel's actually last 3 movies, I think that the villains in those movies were like the best, and then the next one was the best, and then probably this one.
What's
the third? Wait, what was
the third one?
Hela.
Oh, okay.
No, Hela. Well, actually, 4. So it was Vulture, then Hela, then Killmonger, then Thanos.
I think they definitely got the memo that people were kind of like on their villains, and I think that they've made an effort to correct that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now I don't know how Ghost is going to be in I don't really know anything about her, but I don't is it an actual character in the comics? Because I haven't come across.
Yeah, it's more of a technically it's a he in the comics, and he in the comic is also an Iron Man villain.
Okay.
So
that's okay. Now I remember reading something like that. Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see.
Either way, the build up to Infinity War, they built up the villains like they should have. Like the villains just got better and better, and then Thanos, I think, is the villain as he was supposed to be. He was supposed to be the main villain.
Yeah. Obviously, Spider-Man is still my favorite, but between the past few movies and stuff like that, Thor is definitely my number 2 guy.
If there's an award for most improved, Thor gets it.
He is just ridiculous. He definitely inspires most of the Frisian for me in the movie.
Yeah. The moments where I got excited in the theater, and the first time we saw it was Thor. Seeing Thor do his things.
Literally, because we saw it a second time on Sunday, and even though I knew the one scene with Thor was coming. I knew it was coming. I still it was still it
was still just as awesome.
It was just and I was just fuck yeah. You just have that fuck yeah moment with him. It's just he definitely. I'd have to think about it really to say who my favorite MCU hero is, but he's got to be up there now after that. That was.
Yeah, I like it because they're finally I guess maybe he had to grow, but they're finally. It finally feels like he's an actual god,
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing that in the beginning of the MCU, it didn't seem like he was that strong or that type of type of thing. But in Marvel, in an actual Marvel universe, he's one of the strongest beings.
Right.
And it's nice for them to be able to show that now in the movies.
Mm-hmm.
He's still fucked up. Should have went for the head. Yeah. Actually, he shouldn't have went for the head. He should have cut off his goddamn arm. That's what he should have done. But
fuck that, hit him in the dick. That'll.
So what you mean?
Right,
you mean chin?
Right soul.
Nothing.
Uh,
he should have pulled some like Luke Kang. Should just like stop.
Yeah, well, a lot of people were talking about how they hate Star-Lord the most now because of what he did, but like.
Hey, emotions, man. Emotion catches you.
Right? And that's the same thing that happens with Thor. And like he's almost as much to blame is because he literally went for the chest because he wanted to gloat.
to hit him in the heart.
He wanted to gloat and say, "I told." Like instead of he wanted him to be alive, so he could say, "I told you I was going to get my revenge," and then it backfires on him.
Should have went for the head.
Yeah.
Yep. Also, I really liked Bruce Banner in this too.
Mm-hmm.
Like he had definitely had some of the more comedic moments, and then he finally had his own time to shine. It's as a hero, I guess.
Yeah.
So, also, I don't know if you guys saw that article I posted in the group chat, but like apparently the directors put that one scene in the trailer like specifically to throw you off. Like it was that's all it was there for. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. Also Drax, very funny. Did you see that Dave Bautista actually that line was an improv line?
Yeah, the why is Gamora.
Yeah. That was actually him.
That's pretty awesome.
That's pretty good. Yeah. I was like, that's pretty clever.
Yeah. Can I just say I thought about that. Could we give Batista like the kind of the MVP of like kind of the out of nowhere, like really good.
Yeah.
The one-liners and things like the.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like who would have thought that like when you thought, oh, Batista's going to be in Guardians of the Galaxy, who would have thought like he would have been as entertaining as he is?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah.
Originally, you think he's just going to be a meathead type guy, but he's actually pretty hilarious.
Right.
Like he plays that character well.
It actually kind of reminds me of like The Rock in his early like acting career. Like you never really expected much of him because he was a wrestler, but then he had the like what was it? Be Cool, or is that the movie he's in, or the sequel? But like he's actually really funny in a lot of those scenes, and you just kind of throws you off guard and you're like, wow, this guy's actually really good.
Yeah.
But the same with Batista.
Yeah, it's a damn good movie.
I'm sure. I think we all saw what Groot was actually saying.
God, that hit me in the feels. The second time that we saw it, that was the only time that I teared up again. Was when I saw Groot Rocket, and then learning what he said, I was like,
you know, I teared up again. Is the same scene I teared up in the first fucking run through. We've said spoiler alert, so if you're still watching, I'm gonna spoil some shit. Was when Spider senses start going off, and he knows. Like I knew it was coming. Like the first time, I didn't know. It would completely caught me off guard. And then like just the way he like pleads, like no, like it's just like you're just like, oh my god, stop. Like even though in your head you're like, okay, I know they announced another Spider-Man, but there's no guarantee. Like it's almost guaranteed he's gonna come back somehow. But it's even though the way he played that scene, and they hear that he improv that is like shit.
Yeah.
So
it was definitely
the first A game in this movie. Like that line, the Batista line was improv. Like everyone came to this movie and was like brought their best, and that was you can tell because this movie was hyped beyond anything for me, and it hit it. Like it was. I didn't leave go. Oh, it's kind of disappointing. Like no, like it should have done that, but it didn't. It met the hype for me.
Yeah, the first time that we saw it. That scene with Spider-Man and Iron Man, basically, I didn't notice when he first said like he didn't feel right. I didn't notice that he had already started kind of deteriorating. I thought he just kind of felt it, and then once he laid down, it happened. But the second time I noticed he actually had already started.
Like I think it was like his legs or something like that.
It was his arms because his arms were kind of crossed, and so you could kind of see from his hands that he was starting to deteriorate.
Yeah, it's definitely a tough scene to watch. I mean, like even like that just shows how great of a scene it was, because like for the most part, most fans know he's gonna come back somehow because he has to. There's already another movie in place, but it's still really hard to watch. You know?
Yeah. Like, this movie made your emotions actually like come alive in the movie. Like sometimes you're watching a movie, you're like, oh man, like that guy died, like that sucks, that's sad. But this movie like actually attached to my emotions and played off of them.
Yeah,
I feel like I did the same for you guys too.
Yeah, and also I was very impressed that they finally gave like Gamora a real like arc, because she's always been like one of the main focuses of the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, but she literally was like a very main focus of this movie.
Right.
I think they did a great job with that.
Yeah, I feel
Zoe Saldana did a great job. Does a great job.
Yeah, I feel like pretty much every character had I mean, obviously some had more than others, but every character had a moment to shine throughout. So
I think they did a good job at casting Mantis too. Like her, even though she's not a big role, like her parts are really funny, especially with Drax.
Right.
Like I think they did a good job.
Yeah, she's a very good addition to the team.
Yeah. I feel like after watching this with all of the actors, this movie I'd have to obviously see it again, and obviously I'm super hyped still for it, but like I feel like every actor portrayed their character perfectly. Like there wasn't an actor or an actress that I was like, they didn't really sell that, or like they didn't play the role very well. Like all of them played it to a T. Like,
actually, speaking of that, like there was actually the scene where Star-Lord is supposed to shoot his gun and it turned to bubbles. Like, so apparently in the initial script, he wasn't going to actually pull the trigger. He was just going to let Gamora and Thanos go. But like, apparently James Gunn and Chris Pratt both like kind of pleaded. It's like, that's not really what he would have done. That's not really the character. And like, they changed it so that he actually does pull the trigger.
Yeah. That was crazy.
It just shows like how much like how well these actors have like embraced these characters now.
Yeah, you can tell that I don't know if it's Marvel or Disney or who's pushing them to do it, or maybe it's just themselves, but like you can tell that even if they aren't a comic book like fan or reader, that they're going back and like reading about their characters so that they actually have an understanding. Because like I know Brie Larson, like there was some images, I don't know if it was on Twitter or Instagram, but like it was pictures of her reading like Captain Marvel. Like, so like, she wants to know who this character is so that she can be it. And I don't know if that's something that Marvel or Disney kind of goes, oh, hey, here, you should read this, or if it's them taking, the ball themselves.
I think the really good actors and actresses do their research. Like no matter what it is, they do their research. Like if you're gonna play a character from a book, then they read that book 100 times to get the nuance, and they go and talk to the author and like things like that. So I think a lot of the people that they picked are just very good actors and actresses.
Also, so the real villain, I don't know if you knew this, but the real villain of the movie was Wong.
Yep.
He's like,
I know the universe is getting all fucked up, but I'm gonna keep an eye on the crib. I'll be back.
Like, you got this.
No one's protecting the house, so I'm gonna go there, and you guys got this.
I'm gonna go there. I left the stove on. My bad. I left the stove on.
Also, I thought that the part of the sanctums was to keep the time stone safe. Like,
no, there's other things that should not get into the other people's hands and stuff like that. So yeah, so I mean, it makes sense, but it's still at the same time,
right? Oh, Wong. So yeah, go see Avengers: Infinity War if you haven't. It's already made over $1 billion in 1 week.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I think it's projected to do like 50K or 50 million in China this weekend.
Yeah, I saw something about that too. Yeah,
which is like I think it's supposed to actually break the record for the opening weekend.
Only
there.
50 million?
Yeah. Or no, maybe that was Russia. I know.
I was gonna say 50 million seems rather low.
Let me see. Avengers. I know they did break the record in Russia, but it was very low, and that was like 5 million, I think. Let me see. Avengers.
It crushed pre-sale record. Yeah, nearly 50 million in pre-sales.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, that's still a lot.
Yeah.
Holy shit. So over this past weekend, it hit $1.64 billion.
Good God.
Jesus.
Wait, what is number one? And like, what did Black Panther do?
Let's look it up. I don't think it did that well.
For China, the previous record holder was Fate of the Furious with 25 million. So it doubled that. Jesus. So for pre-sales. So like that just shows you like this is a massive movie. That it could like it's pre-sale, it broke the record. It wasn't like, oh, they did 25, we did 26. No, we doubled their number.
So as of March 18th, Wait, that's so far away. It was Black Panther did 1.18 billion.
So the numbers.com says that it ended at 1.338 in worldwide box office, and Infinity War is already at 1.654.
It's already number 2 or number 3.
That's a lot of money.
Or is that number 2 now?
What was number 2?
Like in box office, like record.
All time, Black Panther is now number 3.
Okay. So okay. Good God.
For superhero movies. What about all time? I don't know. We'll have to look up all time.
Man, just think about how much money Marvel is making this year.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Like it's almost like, because like I know there's been like some rumors coming out that Comcast is going to make like a really big cash offer to try and come in at the last minute here. And if I was Disney, I'd just be like, "Hey, Fox, whatever they give, we'll just give you more. That's no big deal." Like just like what else? Because like literally, like how could Comcast even compete at this point? Like I know Comcast is a huge company on their own, but it's just like. Because I remember correctly, Comcast originally was offering more money than Disney, but Comcast, like, I guess Fox was like, it was more like ethical things. Like, they just like, no one really likes you, Comcast, so I'm just going to not do it.
No one likes you.
Do you really think if Comcast bought, they'd be like, oh, we're going to make X-Men movies? Or would they be like, hey, Disney, now you give us money and we'll give you
they definitely would have been like, give us more money.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's what Comcast, they just want some of this other stuff. But... Yeah. Because I don't remember if Comcast. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff with that.
So Avatar, the Blue People movie, is the number 1 ever worldwide at 2.78 billion. Titanic's 2 at 2.2. Star Wars: The Force Awakens is at 2.06, and then number 4 is Jurassic World at 1.67, and Infinity War is now number 5 already on the all-time list, and it's only been out for 2 weeks, week and a half. So
I understand the 3D. I always forget that, but it's like every time someone says, like, "Oh, Avatar," I'm like, "Oh, it was all right." Like it wasn't like I don't know, but it was a 3D thing. I know.
That's the other thing is, so like Avatar, it only did 760 at the domestic. I say only, but like so Star Wars did 936, but overseas it did over $2 billion. Overseas,
so. Avengers Infinity War cost 321 million to make. But that's not including marketing and like promotions, stuff like that. But still
they've already
got that back basically almost in the first weekend, or did get that back in the first weekend.
That's crazy.
Not to change the subject.
We in the wrong business,
right?
Not to change subject. Isn't it funny how like when you do the top grossing movies and like. The fact that it's because Avatar and Titanic, right?
Yeah,
right.
Nobody ever really says anything about Titanic. Like nobody ever, like everybody's like, "No, why the fuck is Avatar number 1? Like, why the fuck is that movie there?" But Titanic, like, okay, no.
Yeah,
because we'll let that go. We'll let it go.
Right.
It's all right. My heart will go on. Okay, it's okay.
So wait, does that mean Deadpool 2 is going to be that good? Because she got sung for that.
I mean,
I can't wait personally.
I mean,
that's on my part of the weekly playlists. Ashes by Celine Dion. I recommend it.
Jesus.
I just can't believe that's a thing. That's just.
I thought it was a joke, but now the song is actually on Spotify and like Apple Music.
Yeah.
And you can like. I also thought that the song was made like she just made the song and they just used it for Deadpool. No, she made the song for Deadpool.
I know. That's ridiculous.
That's hilarious. Like, right?
She has to know, like, oh, this is kind of a jokey thing, but she's just like, whatever, I don't give a shit.
Pay me. I think that's pretty awesome. She gets a lot of points in my book for that.
Mm-hmm. Like, if you told me, oh, Celine Dion is gonna make a song for Deadpool, I'd be like, no, she's not.
Yeah,
and then she did.
Right. That's it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I don't know what we're going to talk about next week, so keep your eyes peeled on our Facebook page.
It'll be the Fanboy 3 next week.
Yes, because Steven will not be here.
Right.
So actually, we should try to figure out something that us three can talk about.
Why Steven sucks so much.
I like it. Perfect. Let's talk about Destiny and Captain America because Steven doesn't like those things.
Why the fuck would I be here for the Destiny?
Oh god.
All right, so just follow our or like us on Facebook, Fanboy4. Just Google it or oh my god, search on Facebook Fanboy4, and you will find our page. I'm pretty sure it's the only page that'll pop up. Twitter is at Fanboy4Pod. You can follow me. I'll be selfish and go first. Leviathan426. Follow Brandon. He probably won't see it. You follow him, but you can follow him and you can pretend like he's following you too. Redo3BMC. Steven is Galvanator93 on Twitter. Tony Brown is at Tony Brown. You can also
G93?
God damn it. I fucking hate you right now. Actually, take back my last recommendation. Don't follow strangers. You have to deal with stupid shit. Also, Tony does another show, Let's Play series called Super Game Brews.
Yep, we're a little behind. My co-host, he is out of commission. He is out of commission right now. But we are recording this week, so.
Yep, but if you haven't been following him, he's got a lot of cool episodes on there, Super Mario World, and like what they mentioned earlier, Far Cry 5. So there's definitely content there if you've not watched it already. Same thing on Twitter at Super Game Brews. I think that's it.
I think so.
Sounds about right.
So we appreciate your support. Please share us everywhere you can. We are going to be famous movie stars come this summer. So get on the bandwagon now. All right. So thank you very much for watching, and we will see you soon. Adios.
Later, taters.
Yeah.
Later, taters. God damn.